Okay, so here's my setup. It looks pretty standard with a monitor, keyboard, mouse, and a gaming PC, which is now under my desk. But a lot of people around me are pretty confused because this PC isn't really on most of the time, and most of the time, this entire setup is driven by my objectively way worse MacBook, even for performance-demanding tasks such as video editing. So why do I keep using my MacBook for this kind of stuff, despite having a way more powerful PC available right down there? Well, it's for one very simple reason. macOS is simply superior to Windows, and here's 10 reasons why I think that's the case. Number 1, more intuitive and cohesive UI. To start off, macOS has a much more understandable UI than Windows. On the top is your menu bar, and all your editing options and quick controls and the settings are right there. Down at the bottom is your dock. That's where your apps go. But on Windows, they're all kind of mingled together into the taskbar, and your editing options are sometimes there under the window title and sometimes not. macOS is also much more cohesive in that almost every app follows the same general design language, and there's basically no confusion about what each app does. For example, on Mac you have the System Settings app, where you, change all your settings. However, on Windows, you have the Settings app, and there's also the control panel, and which one do you use? Well, it's settings, but if you want to manage your users, you have to go to the control panel. You get a point. Number 2, more built-in apps and tools. Another reason why I prefer macOS is its vast amount of built-in tools and apps compared to Windows. There is a built-in image editing software that's sufficient for most day-to-day use. Preview, a video playback software that also allows you to trim videos on the go. QuickTime, right-click on a picture, you can rotate it, convert it to another format using the built-in image/video format converter, or remove the background using the built-in background remover, just by right-clicking. When I just got my PC, I was surprised that Windows doesn't have a built-in screen recorder when I wanted to record my gameplay. But guess what? A screen recorder is built right into the native macOS screenshot menu. Going to the more niche stuff here, macOS also has a built-in disk manager that allows you to add, remove partitions, erase with options for erasure security, and even clone disks completely and identically. There's also remote desktop software. Yes, I know it's also on Windows, but only for Windows 10 or 11 Pro for some reason. Bluetooth file transfer utility, color sampler, and even a graphing calculator. These are all apps and features that are built right into macOS, out of the box, without having to install any third-party apps. Meanwhile, I'll be spending hours trying to find third-party app equivalents of those features on Windows just for them to feel half-baked. I've gotten used to these built-in features on macOS, so whenever I try to do anything on Windows, I always just feel like it's missing some of the most basic features. Number 3, and this might be a shocker, better customization. Apple is definitely not the name you think of when it comes to customizability, but at least for me, macOS is significantly more customizable to each user's individual needs than Windows. For example, you can adjust the size, position, magnification of the dock basically however you want. Going into the more technical stuff here, you can also basically customize or create your own keyboard shortcuts for everything you can think of. Like, I do have some really weird ones, like Control S for screenshot and Command S for Siri. Additionally, there's also this feature called Hot Corners in macOS, where you can assign an action to each corner of the screen. Can you sleep your screen just by hovering your mouse to the top left corner of your screen? On Windows? Probably not. Don't like having to click and hold on your trackpad to drag. You can simply turn on a 3-finger drag to solve that problem. Seriously, there's just so much stuff you can mess around with to make each individual Mac work best for each individual user, even from the little details. While Windows is kind of uniform for everyone. Number 4, better memory and storage management. macOS simply has better RAM and storage management than Windows, and you can feel the difference. I have 16GB of RAM on my MacBook Pro, and I constantly have 10 or even 15 apps open in the background at the same time, including some really heavy ones like Final Cut Pro and even Google Chrome. How can I casually keep all these apps open in the background at the same time? It's the memory management. The OS automatically suspends and uses apps in the background and while keeping them open, so you can quickly go back using them whenever you want. So that I never really use more than 12GB of my RAM at any given moment. The storage management is also very intuitive. There's this bar that breaks up what category of files are using up your storage so we can quickly delete them, and can even show you the File Explorer or Finder with all sizes for folders and files labeled. What do you get on Windows? This yellow bar that tells you how much storage you need, and an app and install page that lists the size of each app. No explanation on what exactly is taking up your storage. You don't know if it's just a game that is 300GB in size or just a bunch of photos and videos. You just gotta guess. Confusing as always. Number 5, AirDrop and Apple ecosystem. Of course, you can forget one of the biggest advantages of using a Mac, the Apple ecosystem. Start writing an email on your iPhone and instantly transfer it to your Mac if you feel like it. Instantly airdrop files between your phone and computer. No need for meddling around with Google Drive or third-party websites. And I know you can link your Android phone with your PC, but this level of integration isn't really nearly as deep as what the Apple ecosystem offers you. Number 6, more trackpad gestures. Yeah, this might only matter to laptop users, but still, macOS has vastly superior trackpad gestures compared to Windows. I mean, they do exist in Windows, but they're so clunky and the animations and speed are so bad that nobody ever bothers to use them other than like maybe pitching into Zoom. But on macOS, especially complemented with the large Force Touch trackpads on MacBooks, it almost makes up for the fact that Macs don't have touchscreens. Pinching into Zoom, 2-finger scroll, 4-finger swipe to switch between full-screen apps and bring up mission control, hard click to trigger additional actions, the haptics. macOS is very trackpad oriented, and if you don't like using a mouse, the macOS might just be the only OS for you. Number 7, actually useful help menu. Okay, the help menu in macOS is actually insane, to a level that's simply unmatched in Windows. It's basically a universal search function for app functions. For example, if you forgot how to insert a gap in Final Cut, you can just literally type in gap in the help menu and it'll literally point to where the button and keyboard shortcut for inserting a gap is. If the search doesn't return any results, it'll still suggest guides and other helpful material to you. How neat. Meanwhile, you just have to figure out everything by yourself on Windows. There's really no universal search for app functions like that. Number 8, universal tab bar. What is also pretty cool built-in feature in macOS is the universal tab bar that's basically non-existent in Windows. What I mean by that is that almost every single app can be tabbed, whether that be Preview, Finder, or even Maps, and it's so useful. You don't even know the convenience of just being able to open new tabs in every single app until you've used macOS. And how is this useful? Well, for example, I'm editing videos. I might need both my downloads and YouTube folders open and ready to access, or even transfer files between them. On Mac, I can just have them open in separate Finder tabs and easily switch between them. While on Windows, it's a lot more complicated because you will have to open them in 2 separate windows, pun intended, and juggle between them and try to find the folder you have open everything. It's such a little thing that makes quality of life a lot better on a Mac. And the thing is, this has been a thing on Macs for forever, so I have no idea why Windows still hasn't implemented this yet. Number 9, Spotlight Search. Okay, I know Windows has a search function that's pretty similar feature-wise, but damn, is the Spotlight Search on Mac so much more useful. It can perform basic functions like, searching for an app or doing a simple calculation, which the Windows search can also do, but can also give you more info like the weather of a city or the status of a flight using the internet, and even search for files and photos based on the contents of that file or who appears in that photo, all within this little floating search box. Apple developed the idea of a universal search tool like this first, and it's pretty clear that the Spotlight Search in macOS is still miles ahead of the Windows 11 search function. Number 10, macOS is just more stable. For the 2 years that I've been using this PC, it has blue screen on me at least 3 times, and I basically have to shut it down daily just to keep it running well. The thing about Mac is that it's so optimized and stable that crashes and whatnot are very rare. In my entire life, I've only seen the Mac kernel panic screen once, and my MacBook seldom crashes. As you don't really have to restart it unless you're doing a software update. You can just put it to sleep for extended periods of time and just wake it up whenever you need it, and it still runs absolutely fine, even when the uptime is 2 months or something. On Windows, not only do you have to keep periodically restarting your PC to keep it running smooth, Windows quite literally sends you a notification if you haven't restarted your computer in a while. So Mac is simply better in this aspect just by this stability metric alone. So here are 10 reasons why I still insist on using my Mac over my PC, and why I keep drifting back to doing basically all of my stuff on my MacBook, even though I have a far more powerful PC within my reach. It's simply better, it's more stable, it has way more built-in software, and just integrates with my existing Apple ecosystem very nicely. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't take offense at this because Windows does admittedly have a lot of strong points too. And also, thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. It's been my dream to hit that magic number since I started making YouTube videos. And I wouldn't be here today without all the support from you guys. So comment, like, and subscribe for more tech content just like this. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!